We're back! We're back in the studio gym that we are currently not training in whatsoever until soon, hopefully. So this season is Sweep Theory. I've just come back from the BJJ Globetrotters camp in Iceland where I did a Sweep Theory class. You can find it on the channel. It's a very quick version of what hopefully we aim to cover in this season. This episode, episode 2, is going to be on the Scissor Sweep. The Scissor Sweep is usually the first sweep you learn when you start Jiu-Jitsu, especially if the first class was closed guard. It's one of the most simple sweeps to learn. Due to that, it's normally one of the first sweeps that gets abandoned. So when you're playing closed guard, you go for the sweep, people can just see it coming a mile off and they just ignore it. It doesn't work a few times and you abandon it and may never actually come back to it. So we'll start off with recapping what we actually said in the last episode. The things we want to look for are the table leg principle. So I want to understand what I'm going to be throwing Naki over. So making sure he hasn't got a corner that he can land on, or maybe two. The second aspect is be able to find his center of gravity. So if he's sitting too far back on his hips, it's going to be very hard to shift him. And taking into consideration the rotation issue. So if I don't rotate my body, or if his hips are wrongly aligned, it's going to be very difficult to try and sweep him. And we'll look at some of those aspects here. So, usually the scissor sweep is, I'm going to grab an arm in some fashion, come across, and here's my sweep. Usually the way you kind of learn. You can cut the elbow, it doesn't really matter. And then it's going to come over, and then you finish your sweep off. It never works like that ever in sparring. So, again, the second I start rotating, I want to go this way. It obviously dictates which way I want to go. If his hips aren't tilting the same way to assist in that rotation, it becomes very difficult. So if this hip is lower than this hip, automatically that's where it becomes easier. If he loads his hips the other way, it isn't going to happen. So I can sit here for ages, I'm never going to lift him. But if his hips go the other way, the rotation has already started. The 180 degrees is already about a 150, 160. That's why normally when you learn it, it's when I learned it at first at Braulio's gym, like 10, 11 years ago, it was this leg was up, and he's already tilted. And that makes life a whole lot easier. Because I can just kick down and he's gone. Never going to happen. Never going to happen, so it's just going to sit there with that table leg moved, and they're just going to go over. So the problem with this sweep then is actually getting them to that point is if I sit here and his hips are gone, and it's automatically dictated that I can't do the sweep. If he's sitting the other way, fine, I'm just going to come back and do something else. If he's sitting here and he's already going, yes, now's the time to go. I remove the table leg, I don't care what I do, I can hold on to his fingers, elbow, you're going to be crazy and try and get some sort of arm drag. I don't really care as long as that's removed. Just be mindful if you go for overhooks. Here, and they put the arm out. So if he puts his arm flat into the floor and bars his arm, come back, like bar it. There's a chance you could do this and you could end up breaking their elbow, especially if you're new to Jiu-Jitsu. Last part then is the issue when it comes to the centre of gravity. If he's sitting back on his hips, it's going to be very hard to send him over. His weight is balanced. So I need to find a way of pulling him off his hips and then feeling his centre of gravity. I don't want to do enough that it crunches my own legs in so I've got no mobility, but I want to be able to feel his weight appear on my legs. When I first learned this, I think it was Dave Iverson, back at Braulio's in Birmingham, he looks backwards, and he did it here. I was curious as to why. But as I do this, I realise that I'm actually pulling Naki's weight on top of me and should take him off his legs a little bit and load him up onto me. Same if you're doing a butterfly sweep. So if he's sitting down on his hips, it's very hard. But if I can load him up onto me, not enough that I'm crushing my legs and that I can't now move, but enough that his weight comes off. Now, we go. And the final part is that end rotation. Someone who's got a good sweep defense will lift your bottom leg, meaning you can't climb over the top to finish the sweep. So if I go for Naki, I sweep him, and he lifts my bottom leg, I can't go over the top. So the second that he hits the deck, I need to be able to pull that leg out and right my hips as fast as I can. here. Because now, no matter what happens, he could try and wrestle me over, he could try and pull my bottom leg. It's going to be a lot harder for him because I've climbed too high in the rotation. If I was here, he can just put me back down and the sweep's over. And that's kind of the final part of doing that sweep, is you need to be able to spin his rotation, pull his arm so he can't rewrite himself, and then climb over your bottom leg and finish it. You don't want to just lie on the floor, otherwise there's no sweep and you're just going to end up back on your back again. But it's feeling those different parts, feeling the rotation of the hips, make sure your rotation is already started, find the centre of gravity to make them weightless, and taking away that table leg and focusing the pressure from the opposing hip should hopefully improve your scissor sweep. The next episode is going to be on the flower sweep, which is a pretty brilliant way of explaining this whole sweep theory. So thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Please do all the usual stuff. We have some news which hopefully I can announce in the next couple of days. But yes, thank you. Thank you for watching that video, whatever the hell it was about. Please like it, share it, subscribe to the channel. If there's a bell icon, it should be on this side. Please click on that if you want to get notifications for any new videos I make. If there are other videos around my head someplace, please click on those for more techniques. And in the description is a link to my Patreon if you want to support the channel in any way. So thank you for your time.